and end my search. I see millions and millions and millions of New Agers out there, and all the ones that I've known, all the ones that I've interacted with in the late 60s, early 70s, all the ones that I deal with now, seekers, searchers, constantly looking, experiencing, like a smorgasbord, like a wine-tasting ceremony. They touch spiritual presence, none of which leads them to the heart, the face, the embrace, the life of God. The God that wants them, that provided Christ on the cross as the gateway. The Mayans used humans and their blood in horrific, painful sacrifice to bring in the demons. Jesus gave his life at the cross, where his blood was shed by radical evil, to break the bonds of sin, Satan, hell, deception, eternal loss, separation from God. Now it's possible to have the living God re-enter your life, not by your sacrifice, not by you shedding blood, not by your performance of anything. A perfect, sinless, holy, righteous one gave his life on the cross. Coddle, in comparison to Christ. Are you kidding me? Quoting the words of Maurice Cotterell, page 171, we have revealed the messages they left. No, they didn't. No, you didn't. You gave the message of the Mayans and twisted and blended everything in to make it look like that. Goes on to say this, quote, and know now that we cannot afford to ignore them. Now here's the words, listen. And here's what a lot of New Agers, alienologists, and others are taught, what they're waiting for. Like the donkey going after the carrot, the stick and the string, and they never get to it. Here's what he says at the end, quote, but a wealth of super knowledge still awaits us. Referring to his book and the Mayan stuff, this is only the beginning. Well, that I can agree with. It's layered. The approach to the end of time, the approach to the end of history is layered. Layers and layers of deception, seduction, alternatives, distraction, anything and everything to keep humanity from the face of God. Yet the doors are broad and wide and open and worldwide, and even down there among the Mayans, there are those that have given their lives to the living Christ, that can testify to the love of God, forgiveness based on what Jesus did, not our own self-purification or purifying ourselves in humanity by the slaughter of others. There are those down there and all over that have given their life to the living Savior that's alive. He's come to live in their lives. Who can come forward and say Quetzalcoatl lives in their life? Quetzalcoatl's walking with them. Quetzalcoatl's giving them anything. A finite, listen, let me say that I believe probably Nephilim, with Nephilim architecture, with massive demonization, in the creation of a bubble in human history that completely shaped demonically, luciferically, if I could make up a word, the culture, the gateways, the presence and the power. But before, and I think the enemy, I really do think the dark side knows when God is bringing the hammer down. I think they know. I think they try to preserve things. I think we're going to see, and here's what I'm giving right now is a human prediction, not from the Spirit of God, that we're going to see that it's very possible that the demonic and the work back there was frantically deposited because in the last couple of years they were killing and sacrificing humans by the thousands so as to either ward off, protect, or embody as much of the dark side into the remains. for the sake of a purposeful, plotted day to bring it all out again and fuel. I'm telling you now, all of the Mayan stuff may come down to being a powerful element in fueling and being precursors for individuals who embrace it, to help them embrace the Antichrist, the false prophet, and all of the end on their terms, as if they are the good, brilliant, wonderful super gods who have come to save the planet. How else would millions join and travel to Armageddon, aim their weapons into the sky, and decide that they needed to blast Jesus Christ out of the skies? When you take time to go to the Shadow of the Darkness website, you'll see Monday through Friday the listing of titles every week. Usually they're posted by early Monday morning. But we also put out some broadcasts on Saturday, preemption broadcast, and this Sunday night, the Ragged Edge Show, 10 p.m. live with open chat and so forth. The title is, What is the Luciferic Invocation? Who authored it? Who's praying it? Why? And what will it do if many people repeat it? The Luciferic Invocation, even done at the United Nations building. Where else? Well, we're going to find out Sunday night. We are glad to invite you to be there. Questions about Nephilim. We've talked about Monday night, the origins. Tuesday night, the Old Testament level. Wednesday night, the beginnings of discussion on current modern-day stuff. Both from the... and again, notice that an hour doesn't give us the time to go into all... I mean, we're just literally giving introductions to all of this. And so when we touched Wednesday and Thursday, there is the entire ufology and alien abduction scenario by the thousands and thousands now today. I've met some of those people in Roswell. Down there twice, I listened. And we've researched and we've engaged abductees. I watched as Joe Jordan brought abductees onto the stage that confessed that they were invaded, they were taken, that the alien abductors were not extraterrestrial but extra-dimensional, that they are dark, menacing, and evil, and that the only deliverance is through the name of the living Savior, Jesus Christ. Testimony after testimony after testimony. But the entire scenario involves the concept of breeders. Once again, the alien, whatever they are, as far as whatever. Listen, I don't see them as extraterrestrial. I do see them as that. Well, there's the rulers and the principalities, and then there's the wicked spiritual entities in the heavenlies around us. So up there in the air, the atmosphere around us is pouring forth like fireworks. It's really like, satanic fireworks in the display to draw curiosity, to engage individuals. And I was just listening to the YouTube video somebody sent me on the Farsight Institute, the premier remote viewers. Courtney Brown, who remote viewed Jesus, went out into the ether, engaged, and talked to Jesus. Now, if you read his books, you'll realize he did not talk to the Christ who died on the cross. Once again, anything and everything, whether the Akashic records, whether ancient temple sites, whether actual direct guided writings from the demonic realm like Alice Bailey, any and all of that will tell you, will do everything to completely blind you from seeing the real Christ and offer you an alternative. That's what it's all about. It's not even a bait and switch. It's just simply the switch. It's blind and switch. Blind you from the real Christ, 2 Corinthians 4:4. Listen now, my friends. The God of this age, small g, Satan himself, Lucifer himself, the God of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the glory of the gospel of Christ, who is the icon of God, the visible of the invisible, the exact print visibly in front of us of what is invisible and from our eyes. So the blinding, spiritual blinding